It's 7 a.m., you make your first cup of coffee. By 9 a.m., you're pouring your second. Noon hits, that's number 3. 3 p.m. slump, coffee. 5 p.m. meeting, coffee. Your coworker watches you refill your mug for the 5th time today and asks, "Don't you get jittery?" And you're like, "Jittery from what? This is just how I function." Your cup is never empty. Your brain is never fully awake without it. And people act like you have a problem, but you're just maintaining baseline existence. So what's actually going on? Why do some people have one coffee in the morning and call it a day, while you're sipping your 6th cup at 8 p.m.? Let's break down the real psychology of people who treat coffee less like a beverage and more like a continuous IV drip. Number 1, you're not addicted, you're chemically dependent. Let's start with the obvious. Caffeine is a drug, a socially acceptable, legal, widely encouraged drug, but a drug nonetheless. And your brain has adapted to it. Here's what happens. Caffeine blocks adenosine receptors in your brain. Adenosine is the chemical that makes you feel tired. When you drink coffee, caffeine slides into those receptors like a key in a lock, preventing adenosine from doing its job. So you feel awake, but here's the problem. Your brain notices. It thinks, "Hey, adenosine isn't working anymore. I need more receptors." So it grows more adenosine receptors. Now you need more caffeine to block the increased number of receptors just to feel normal. This is called tolerance, and it's why your first cup barely touches you anymore. You're not drinking coffee to feel energized. You're drinking it to not feel like a zombie. Neuroscientist Stephen Miller found that people who drink coffee daily aren't getting a boost. They're just treating withdrawal symptoms they don't even recognize as withdrawal. Number 2, the ritual matters more than the caffeine. Strip away the caffeine and you'd still make the coffee, because it's not just about the drug, it's about the ritual, the sound of the machine, the warmth of the cup in your hands, the 2-minute break where you're doing something for yourself. Psychologist Wendy Wood, who studies habit formation, found that rituals reduce anxiety by creating predictable patterns in an unpredictable world. Your coffee routine is a series of micro-rituals that structure your day. Morning coffee signals the start of work mode. Mid-morning coffee is your first break. Afternoon coffee is the reset button. Each cup is a punctuation mark in your day. Remove the coffee and you'd feel unmoored. Not because you need the caffeine, but because you need the structure. The ritual tells your brain, we're transitioning now. New phase, reset. And in a world where work bleeds into home and days blur together, those ritual markers matter more than you think. Number 3, you're self-medicating undiagnosed ADHD. Here's something most people don't know. Stimulants affect ADHD brains differently than neurotypical brains. For people without ADHD, caffeine increases alertness and can cause anxiety. For people with ADHD, caffeine can actually be calming and focusing. It's why so many undiagnosed ADHD adults are heavy coffee drinkers. They've accidentally stumbled onto something that makes their brain work better. Dr. Russell Barkley, a leading ADHD researcher, explains that ADHD brains have lower baseline dopamine activity. Stimulants like caffeine increase dopamine, which helps with focus, motivation, and executive function. So when you say, "I can't think without coffee," you might be more literal than you realize. You're not being dramatic. Your brain might genuinely need that chemical assistance to access the executive function most people have naturally. You're not addicted to coffee. You're using it as unofficial medication for a brain that doesn't regulate attention well on its own. Number 4, it is an oral fixation to manage anxiety. There's a reason you always have something in your hand. Coffee, water bottle, pen. Your mouth and hands need to be occupied. This is called oral fixation, a concept from psychology that describes the need for oral stimulation as a self-soothing mechanism. Babies suck their thumbs. Adults drink coffee. Psychologist Dr. Meg Arrell explains that repetitive oral behaviors, drinking, chewing, smoking, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms you down. Every sip of coffee is a microdose of self-soothing. You're not thirsty, you're anxious. And the act of bringing cup to lips, sipping, swallowing, repeating, is regulating your nervous system without you even realizing it. The caffeine might wake you up, but the ritual of drinking is calming you down. You're using coffee as an anxiety management tool disguised as a productivity enhancer. Number 5, it's become part of your identity. You're not just a person who drinks coffee, you're a coffee person. It's on your dating profile. Your friends buy you coffee-themed gifts. You have mugs with slogans like, "Don't talk to me before my coffee." It's become a personality trait, and once something becomes part of your identity, you defend it. Social psychologist Dr. Dan Ariely explains that we protect our self-concept, even when it includes behaviors that might not be ideal. Admitting you drink too much coffee means dismantling part of how you see yourself. It means losing the coffee addict identity that's become comfortable, relatable, even charming. So when someone suggests you cut back, you're not just defending a habit, you're defending who you think you are. And that's much harder to change than a simple behavior. Number 6, you've trained your brain that performance requires caffeine. You've created a classical conditioning loop. You can't write an email without coffee. It's not that you literally can't. It's that your brain has paired work tasks with caffeine state so many times that now they feel inseparable. You've trained yourself to believe you need coffee to be productive. Studies on performance and belief show that expectation drives a significant portion of caffeine's effects. If you believe coffee makes you sharper, you'll perform better, even if it's decaf. This is called the placebo effect, and it's incredibly powerful. You might not actually need the caffeine, you might just need the belief that you're caffeinated. But that belief is so deeply wired now that going without feels like showing up to a test without studying. Possible but terrifying. Number 7, it's socially acceptable break permission slip. You can't just stop working and stare at the wall for 5 minutes, but you can make coffee, you can walk to the break room. You can stand by the machine and do nothing while it brews. Coffee gives you permission to pause without feeling guilty. It's a productivity culture loophole. Sociologist Dr. Juliette Score, who studies work culture, notes that modern work environments have eliminated natural breaks. But coffee breaks remain protected. Nobody questions why you're making your 4th cup. They just assume you need it, so you use it. Not because you need caffeine, but because you need a reason to stop that won't be judged as laziness. Coffee is your excuse to be human for 2 minutes in a system designed to extract maximum output. Number 8, you're trapped in a cycle. Here's the truth. You've thought about cutting back, maybe you've even tried, but withdrawal is brutal. Headaches, fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and it lasts days, sometimes weeks. So you have coffee to make it stop, and now you're back where you started. Psychologists call this negative reinforcement. You're not drinking for pleasure, you're drinking to avoid pain. The cycle becomes self-sustaining. You drink coffee because you're tired. You're tired because you drank coffee yesterday and your brain expects it today. You can't quit because quitting feels worse than continuing, so you stay stuck. Not because you love coffee, but because you fear the absence of it more than you dislike the dependence. And that's not a moral failing, that's just how chemical dependency works. Your brain has rewritten its baseline. And getting back to zero requires going through negative to reset. Number 9, you're drinking a memory of someone who's no longer there. Sometimes it's not about the coffee at all. It's about who you used to drink it with. Your mom who always had a pot brewing. Your best friend from college and those late-night study sessions. Your ex who knew exactly how you take it. You're not just drinking coffee. You're trying to hold on to a moment, a person, a version of your life that doesn't exist anymore. The taste hasn't changed, but everything around it has. And some mornings, pouring that cup feels less like a habit and more like a quiet ritual of remembering. You keep drinking because stopping would mean letting go of one more piece of them, and you're not ready for that yet. I'll be sharing more videos like this on emotional growth, psychology, and self-understanding. Subscribe if this content resonates with you.